Hello there, Robax. Welcome back to Aston Martin. Going to continue where we left off. I apologize for the hiatus. I have been sick. Basically been left with no voice, which has resulted in, a very difficult time trying to do any streaming or recording in videos. But I'm back now, and we're going to continue where we left off with Aston Martin. We're at the halfway point of the season. We have a rather comfortable lead, and we'll be doing the final part of the season here. I don't remember if we actually had any particular rules. I'm gonna have to see what the the design completion of the suspension and design completion of the side pods actually entail. Figure out how we are situated, so to speak. But we'll be getting on with that right away. And I'm thinking that we just open our emails here. F1 school we'll just attend. Doesn't really matter. The wind tunnel upgrade has been completed too. There we are. Underfloor research has been completed. By the looks of things here, we have been focusing probably the regulations, I would assume. We have a quite the gain here in low speed, quite the gain here in medium, nothing in airflow and drag. So I think we're just countering the regulations at this point. Because we are already fairly competitive, so to speak. So I think we're just going to keep on doing what we have been doing, which I assume is countering the regulations. If I'm mistaken, that's on me. But this will be okay. Let's get this underway. Get it researched. 5 engineers, I think, should be okay. I'll have to see. I should have 4 slots, so 5 engineers should make sense. We actually only have 3 slots. We do have 4 slots. What's happened here? Why am I confused? Okay, we apparently have a design that has, or a research route that has finished, and I didn't do anything with it. That's on me. But yeah, probably something happened last time out. But won't mind. Let's go right back into it. Again, we're just going to be doing our best here to counter the regulations. By doing this, we gain a little bit in the low, medium, and high speed. We're going to go all the way left on the other stats. But this brings us, yeah, close. It's about a 5%, 4 to 5% gain. Well, regain, really, of the stats. So that's okay. Let's see here. Regulation for the changes. CFD testing limits. It went through. So we're going to have more CFD time now. And the teams in the back are going to have less, because everyone is now going to have the exact same CFD times, which actually would be a funny way to test the AI to see if they actually maintain or get thrown away as things go. The helipad we will refurbish. I don't think we'll refurbish anything else, honestly. We also have the suspension. Okay, I see what's happened here. The reason why we had 2 designs coming through it because the suspension finished too. That wasn't me forgetting anything. It was just 2 designs ending at the same time, and me just being a bit silly about it. The suspension is actually a fairly decent upgrade, all things considered. Let's just go ahead and manufacture 4 of it. I don't think we're going to put it on the car. Honestly, the best thing would be to limit our car to 3rd and 4th best car, because that would make it kind of competitive with the rest of the field and make the games a bit more interesting. Unfortunately, I haven't been following a lot on the Reddit and on Discord while I've been sick. I've been completely knocked out. Had a bout with COVID, so yeah, that was not fun. But I'm back, and we'll see if we can get back to more regular uploads. I did have a video that I actually forgot to make public, so that one will also be out today about the tire changes, but it's not a very interesting video, all things considered. It's just my take on it. Yeah, let's continue. Let's get on with the French Grand Prix. Helipad has been refurbished. Good. 4% in poor condition. Honestly, again, it doesn't matter. Honestly, the tour center gives you money, yeah, but it's very little. And honestly, I feel like we could invest in something a bit better. Paris's contract ends in another season. You could have a look at his stats here. Yeah, and he's fairly balanced. A bit higher in control. His smoothness being 84, though, is kind of, weird. This should be a new... This should be a new lad. Okay, this is weird. In the 22 season, he hugged 4 teams, is what I'm seeing. We give him a shot here? I don't even know at this point. Because this man, sorry, not this man. This man here, Zdenek Govanek, and he's Portuguese as well. Okay, this guy's an interesting enigma. He's been through 5 teams. Well, 4 teams in 1 season. So, yeah, that's a weird one, but potentially we could try and just have a look at him, yeah. Again, very, very confusing, but there's some potential. Hamilton has been scouted. He is out of contract after this season. Also fairly balanced, high control. I don't know what you'd expect, really. Yeah, I think we'll scout this lad, just out of curiosity. And I don't think there's anyone else here that we'd like to scout. Maybe see how Behrman is developing. But other than that, I think we're good. Let's just continue towards the French Grand Prix here. We'll have a sidepod design coming in. No big news there, really. And it's a design, so we might as well just go ahead and manufacture. Have a look at it if it's better. I assume that I've been doing designs because they generally give more stats, so to speak. And again, that's what I assume, but can't be too certain. We would have fairly decent upgrades if we need to. How were our last couple of races in terms of... Okay, so Vettel came fourth actually. Alonso won. Okay, so they're starting to get a little bit uppity here. Could be interesting. Qualifying position, we should be able to qualify top 6, I think is what we go for. Both drivers in Q2 shouldn't be an issue. Finish position, let's have both drivers top 5 maybe. Be a little bit more passive, a little bit more careful here at the as I'm back. Still not 100%, so we'll have to deal with that. Of course, my nose is still pretty close. I have been trying to record a couple of days early as well, but basically I could just barely make it through the through here, but my voice started giving in, and I'm already feeling my voice starting to give in a little bit. So we'll have to see. I might have to just record this over the course of well, take breaks between each race maybe. But let's go to France. We just finished our French Grand Prix. We had a 1-2 here. Alonso came second due to locking up on lap 50 out of 53. Falling back a good 7 or 8 seconds behind Vettel, 4 seconds behind Sainz. So we had to push and use everything we had to actually catch Sainz and get that podium back. Vettel actually ran out of fuel though, I think, because after he crossed the line he just stopped on the track. So a bit lucky there. I was a little bit too focused on Alonso, but things like that happen. Sainz third, Leclerc fifth, Verstappen fourth, Perez sixth, and then we have Gasly for Alpha, Hamilton and Russell 8 and 10 for Mercedes, and Albon scoring points for AlphaTauri. So pretty good point division there. They weren't too far behind, honestly. 20 seconds, 30 seconds, well, a minute to 7th. In terms of driver championship, we have no changes. Nothing big here. Destructors, also no changes. Ferrari gaining 5 points in their fight with Red Bull. But yeah, it's pretty lackluster so far. Yes. Yeah, I think that's it. Vettel should be getting a bonus now since he finished first, but with Alonso's little, unfortunate moment, can't really do anything about that. So basically, the performance incentives and guarantees is given to Vettel, and we walk away with about 4.1 million. And we're going to put that into braking for Vettel. And upcoming board review, they have high confidence in my leadership, I would hope. Auger has points. Let's put them into reactions again. We're just going to balance this around 80-85 first. Just easy that way. And yeah, we can be happy with that. Post-race overview. Nothing too interesting. Congratulations on our performance. I'd like to see. And we are already at the next race here. Car performance review. Against tracking against the other teams over the last months. Our engine cooling could be improved. We should use this report to decide what car designs we should make. So yeah, we are still looking good. We have the best or second best car. Lacking a little bit in acceleration though. That's a bit worrisome. But here's the thing: if we have a quick look at our warehouse, we do actually not have an extra chassis. We do not have front wing. I would assume no rear wing or underflow as well. We do have the side pod, and if we put this, sorry, I hit my microphone. If we were to put this side pod on, I can't actually switch the thing. It shows me. Okay, it's because we don't own one, I guess. There we are. And as you can see, it would already up our acceleration top speed, as well as low speed cornering to top again. And I find it funny that oh, there we go. And we will get the same boost here from the side pod, so potentially it could even pull us up higher. I honestly don't know if we want to put this in. We're still winning quite reliably, so it's a weird one for sure. Let's just set up our performance targets for Hungary. Both drivers should be in Q3 easily, and Q2 as well, if that matter. And we'll be going for a 1-3 here. Just be a little bit passive, but still should be. I think that should be fairly doable. Let's go to Hungary. We're just done with Hungary. As you can see, we ended up first and third. The reason for this is fairly simple. We had our drivers touch, and luckily not a big hit, but Fernando got a damaged front wing, and at the same time he got a penalty, 5-second penalty, and without that he might have gotten signs. So unfortunate, but nothing really they can do about that. Things do happen. Vettel wins, Alonso third for us, and we have signs second, Leclerc fifth for Ferrari, fourth and sixth for Red Bull, seventh and eighth for Mercedes, 9-10 for Alfa Romeo. As the driver championship here, we have one change. Russell moved up past Bottas. In terms of constructors, we have no real changes. I just want to apologize for my voice and my weird noises. Probably some weird pronunciation as well. As I've been recording now, the nose has become rather stuffy, so I'll take a bit of a break, I think. We'll be back soon. Development wise, kind of what you'd expect here. Nothing big, nothing small. And we paid out 1.5 million here to Vettel, of course, because he won. But just how things are sometimes. Leaving us with 3.5. Having gained, we actually lost 500,000. Usually we do in the base rate because of the bonus, but we just have to live with that, honestly. Race Sim has been upgraded. Mid-season board review. We were supposed to target the 6th position. We're currently first. And we also completed a long-term objective. That is good. And as usual, the board rewards us with an extra 1.5 million. Which is, again, fairly funny to me. Race Sim upgrade complete. What I want to see if we're still upgrading here is actually the weather center. We are. Good. Race Sim was actually maximum, yeah. That's also very good. And it looks like the weather center is actually going to be done now in 2 days. There we are. The previous message that I skipped there a little bit too quick was the suspension manufactured one. But again, we aren't too miffed about it. We don't need to focus on that message, honestly. I think what we could do here for the cooling part is that we upgrade both our suspension and car part test center. Again, the gains aren't too huge. But I think it's better at this point that we just slow down. We leave the wind tunnels and safety as it is, so that we don't end up getting too big a boost. Because these are also indirect research boosts or expertise gain boosts as well. So they're fairly important from that respect. So I think we're gonna just set a house rule here, maybe that, except for factory, I need to keep these 4 level. Like if this is 3, and this 3, and these 2 are 2, I'm not allowed to go 4 on these until these are 4 as well. Might have to, you know, set some sort of difficulty on that to make the game a bit more interesting. But we do have the summer break now, And could have some, yeah, research finishing here. Front wing research finished, good. Up and coming driver, Roman Stanek. Probably not for our team, unfortunately. Front wing, we'll see how it's looking. 11 days until new ATR period, aerodynamics. Currently we have we're getting gains now on the high speed part of the downforce. The medium speed we're also getting gains on. Low speed we're still losing a little bit, so what I'm thinking we're going to do here is just be a bit practical, so to speak, and just focus on low speed purely, and that'll give us actually again half a percentage point of benefit. We're basically going above where we were when the regulation got announced. We'll still get about a percentage point benefit in medium. We'll get a percentage point benefit in high speed as well. Again, in high speed, 0.01 here is 1%, and on medium and low speed, 0.02 equals 1%. So from 0.27 to 0.29, basically a 1% gain in expertise. Brake cooling, we'll probably focus a little bit on brake cooling later on, to be fair. But for now, we're leaving things as is, like this. We'll just get the low speed up to snuff as well. And I guess that also could be a funny house rule to have. Apparently some other research finished that I did not notice. The side pod design that's finished, probably the thing. As you can see, I'm not 100% well yet. I miss things that I shouldn't. That's on me. We'll get suspension research going though. We'll try and, you know, get the regulations fixed here. We could also focus a little bit on the brakes. But for now, we'll try and get this. With this though, high speed should be fixed. We'll have some work to do on low and medium speed though. So it's still okay, don't get me wrong. Just a bit annoying to me personally that I am missing such simple messages. 4 weeks ago with the side pods. We've skipped a month now on research. I'm gonna actually be upset. We probably have been. And again, that's on me, just being not 100% well, and it's really reflecting on my decision and my gameplay, which is unfortunate. So Behrman here is fairly balanced, honestly. Could be a good talent to take in. This guy is still fairly interesting to me, though. He's also very unbalanced, as you can see. He is basically consistency only, and he averages about 41, 42 in pace. High aggression, high growth potential. We could give this lad a go, because of his things, they can invest in smoothness when he gains points now, because the AI wants to try and average this somewhat. Yeah, it's just a bit weird. We'll have to consider what we do. Front wing in low stock because we did destroy one. Guess we'll manufacture 3 more. Be okay. And scouting completed. We had to look at him. We might try and pick him up though. I feel like it could be an interesting one, honestly. I need to see if he's someone that got added in a in 1.9 maybe, but he seems interesting enough. Race preview, Belgium, financial report, important emails, our development. We are losing out a bit here now. As you can see, we are falling down the grid in terms of speed, in terms of low speed cornering. I'm thinking for this next one, we actually slap in one of the new parts. And then we say halfway through the rest of the races here, we slap in the second part maybe. We'll just quickly set up the performance here, Q2 and Q3. Both cars should be in there, no problem. And finish position. Yes, both cars in top 5. Be a bit passive on it. We had a couple of bad races now, where we had accidents happen. So, not much we can do about that. I'm just doing it a bit safe here. With that said, let's head off to Belgium. Here we are at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. we finished 3rd and 5th. We changed out some components, both the engines for both drivers and ERS for both drivers. We took in an extra component, which as you can see put them to the back of the grid. And we honestly would have had a better result here, but we had a couple of problems, namely that Alonso ran wide, costing him a little bit of time. And Vettel also had a bit of a accident with a spin. So we did pit once more than the other teams, but without those incidents, I think we'd ended up a little bit higher. So a bit unlucky, but still decent result for us for 3rd and 5th. Red Bull 1-2, Alpine 4th, have Leclerc in 6th. Sainz crashed out, but continued the race, which is why it's not in the points. Alpha with 7th and 9th here. Norris in 8th. Then we have Guan Yu Zhou for AlphaTauri in 10th. As driver championship, we have no real changes in front here. Everything is as is. Bottas overtakes Russell. Ocon moves up to 12th with his first points of the season. And in constructors, we have changes at all. Decent, might have clicked a little bit too quick there. Decent gains there in terms of development points. Money-wise, we are losing out a bit here because we didn't complete our finish position streak because of, well, penalties for one, but bad luck for the other. But we'll take it. It's not a problem. We still made 4.9 million, almost $5 million dollars. So I'd say we're still in a fairly good position here. Team Hub upgrade has also been completed. Front wing manufacturing has been completed. And is that the maximum level of Team Hub? Team Hub, it's not. So let's get that upgraded once more. We are running kind of low here on cash. We did spend 4 million on new components last race weekend, so we need to keep that in mind as well. We have a new ATR period, which will be going into, you know, probably one of the big three. And in terms of financial cost caps here, we are still projected 40 million safe on the cost caps. I don't think we need to worry about that much. Rear wing research has been completed. Now the big question is, we do have an ATR period here. We want to put that into the rear wing. The rear wing is lacking a bit, so I think we might want to. Let's go ahead here and maximize safety and of course wind tunnel hours to that rear wing. It'll help with our top speed issue as well. And we'll do low speed, medium speed, high speed downforce. For high speed here, we definitely fix the problem. And we go, you know, beyond it. So that is fine. We'll bring it up to about 70% next season. We go about 1.5% by the medium. And we still have some work on the low speed. But we can, of course, tune these down to, you know, gain more of a benefit. I'm thinking we actually do keep the drag, though. Because of the top speed, mainly. I want to try and see how quickly we can make the car go for fun. But this actually also helps with the, you know, deficits here. So I think we'll go with this. Of course, the RS Delta would also be neat to boost up here. But I think for now, this is okay. Should be alright. Put 5 engineers on it. And there we are. Let's continue to the race weekend here. And race prep for the Dutch Grand Prix. Qualifying, we're going to gamble on both drivers in the top 5. Just make it simple. Q3 for both drivers. Shouldn't be an issue. Fastest lap. And we need to set up a new finish position streak. So 5 races. Top 2, 1 driver. Again, we failed that due to having, unfortunately, driver errors for both our drivers in the race where we also took penalties. So it happens. Not much we can do about it. But we should have fixed it now. With that said, let's get into the Dutch Grand Prix. Here we are. We just finished the Dutch Grand Prix. I don't know why I keep calling it Dutch. The Dutch Grand Prix. I believe it was just weird Norwegian pronunciation. My apologies to anyone Dutch. And as you can see, we did a 1-2 under rainy conditions. No big problems really. Pretty straightforward. Verstappen 3rd, Perez 4th for Red Bull. 5th and 60th for Ferrari. Norris up into 7th. Russell and Hamilton 8-9 for Mercedes. And we have Gasly finishing out the points there for Alpha. Disappointing race from Zhou and Esteban. They lost 3 and 7 positions respectively. But that's just how racing is, unfortunately. Driver Championship, we have no changes except for Lando down here, moving up 2 places. Destructors, Red Bull has now overtaken Ferrari, but other than that, no real changes to report on. We have a development point for Alonso, fairly okay. In terms of money, we made about 5 million. We did fail the fastest lap though due to the rain. Stroll actually got that one, which was kind of disappointing, honestly. First things first, we have a email here that requires a response. I think we're going to be spending Alonso's point first, and I think we're going to put it into braking. We're going to catch up on cornering a bit later. And as I said, we have an email that requires a response. Financial changes. Change the cost cap, go back up to 141. We're going to vote against this because I'm curious if it can actually go even lower than 136. If that's in the game or not. So we're going to test that out and see what we can get. Dutch Grand Prix, qualifying P1. Alonso was able to maintain the lead, secure a fantastic victory. Very good. Congratulations. I want to have a quick look here. It's been a few days since last time I played due to being sick, but I'm better now. Don't worry. 13 out of 15, I believe, races won. So I'd say we're still looking fairly good. Alonso has a healthy lead. We'll have to see if Vettel can catch up now. I believe he has been getting some wins due to Alonso's having some issues these last couple of races. So we'll have to see if luck is turning for him. We have the next season. We have the next race, is what I'm trying to say. Jesus. Just gonna have a quick look here and see if we're working on our project. We're doing all of our research as we should. And I'm a little bit unsure if we're on the cooling loop here too, but I think we are. We'll be getting back into that. Yeah, I think we're good then. Let's go to performance targets. Let's set them up. Again, I apologize for being a bit out of it. It's been a few... been a week, I believe, since I last touched a save due to being sick. And I just need a little bit to get back into it. Again, apologies for that. It's probably a bit weird. I probably should have rewatched what I did last time, but I am slightly stressed due to being stuck at work a bit longer than I needed to. We have a lot of sick people there too, so I ended up having to cover basically an extra 3 hours of work, which is also why this video is going to be late. That's other things, so don't worry. For the main video, it'll come out at the main time. And with that, let's go into the Italian Grand Prix. Sorry for my rambling. Italian Grand Prix finished. 1-2 for us. Vettel won. Alonso had a lockup, which threw him further back. As you can see, he is 7.7 seconds behind. But still, I'd say the race was good. We went from soft to hard. Got a gap on the softs. Managed to avoid traffic when we came out on the hards. And we basically just had a really, really good weekend. We lost out on fastest lap though due to going onto said hards. So that sucks a little bit, but it's not a problem. Paris third, Mercedes fourth, fifth. We have Ocon in 6th for Alpine, 7th for Sainz for Ferrari, Verstappen 8th for Red Bull, Gasly 9th for Alpha, and we have Albon 10th for AlphaTauri. Leclerc had an accident with Verstappen, hit the back of him, and that's why both of them didn't do too well. Bit unlucky for both of them, really. Leclerc got a penalty, had to go in and fix his front wing, but I don't think he would end up higher had that not happened. So it's a bit unlucky for them. Driver Championship, we have one change. Russell moves up past Bottas, and in the constructors we have no changes. Red Bull pulling a little bit further away now from Ferrari. Okay amount of development for both our drivers here. Pretty good. And as you can see, we have to pay money because Verstappen... Sorry, not Verstappen. Why am I calling him Verstappen? Vettel won. He still has that bonus, but not much we can do about this at this point. 3.9 million is still a good amount of money to be putting in the bank. And as I said, I am considering changing the objective of this game a little bit. Currently, we are trying to do the old guard. See how high we can push the... you know, the older drivers on the grid, the old legends, so to speak, Vettel and Alonso. But I'm thinking that once we have them actually, you know, retire, see how low of an overall driver can we make world champion. I think that could be a fun little challenge. basically, to some degree, Latifi challenge, but I'm going to be aiming at lower overall than Latifi for that, so we'll see what happens. Car parts test center upgrade has been completed. We now get 6% cooling for engine and brakes. Pretty good. Regulation vote results. The changes to increase the cap, the cost cap is what it's called. Yes, did not go through. Everyone voted for except for McLaren, Mercedes, and Alpha. So I'm curious next season if we'll see a vote to bring it even further down. That could be interesting. Post race review: Italian Grand Prix. Vettel's qualified P2, then 1. Very good. And the board is wins like this increase sports confidence in you immensely. I would hope so. Let's put it like that. Suspension research has been completed. Let's research something new. We do actually have minor technical changes in downforce. We're going to try and cancel those out, of course. And with that, let's just pull back on everything but what we need. We have covered off this one almost, so I think we're going to just leave it as is, to be fair. Airflow front, brake cooling, we're still going to gain 0.4% basically. 0.4% here. We're going to gain 3.5% here, up to what we need. Same here. And we gain about 3% here. So still pretty good, but we still need to just fix the loss here, and that'll be the main goal. Let's see. Let's continue. We have facility upgrading coming. Suspension sim should help with cooling. CFD in poor condition. We don't have the money right now to upgrade it, and I don't really want to refurbish it, unfortunately. So I'm thinking we go ahead and upgrade it, maybe after the next race, if we have a good result. We'll have to see. We'll also need to check when our current researchers are coming in so that we do not waste money unnecessarily. But this is a bit of a punishment now for us in terms of wind tunnel and CFD time. Brake cooling 6% now, pretty good. And let's have a quick look then. When are these two? As you can see, we have an underfloor in 6 days. We have front wing in 18 days. I think we're gonna have to wait probably 2 races before we can do anything about the CFD facility. There we go. Here is the underfloor. Let's see what we gained. We gained 0.2 in airflow sensitivity, 0.35 basically in drag, and we are fixing the low speed, medium speed, and high speed here. I believe 1% here, 2% here, 2.5% here. So let's see what we're looking at in terms of gains and losses. So we're gaining drag reduction, of course. We're still losing out here quite a bit on the low speed. The high speed, we have started getting gains. Medium speed will be getting gains after this next research. So I think if we do drag reduction to the bottom, we do airflow to the bottom, we do high speed downforce to the bottom too, and we maximize medium and low speed, because those are the two that are currently still suffering. This will bring the medium speed a bit further up than where we currently are. That is fine. And the low speed here will still need some work, as you can see. So it's not perfect by any means, but for now, this is what we can do. We do not have CFD or wind tunnel hours, so the damage to the facility is actually okay. We have 30 days to fix that, but even then, if we're going to upgrade, it's probably going to take longer than 30 days. So that is also something we need to keep in mind. Board check-in for the confidence. September 2023 financial report, monthly car report. 3rd in top speed, 7th in acceleration, but we're 1st in cornering. And we're lacking a slight amount of our DRS here, so it's still pretty good. Don't get me wrong, the car is very, very good. Condi has development points, which we can, of course, distribute. I'm a bit unsure what we want to put it in. Are we focusing on downforce, or are we focusing drag reduction? Honestly, I don't know what is the most impactful, but I believe that these 4 are the ones you want to focus on, along with airflow management. So I think we're just going to be lazy here, and we're just going to focus the things that are higher. So we're going to put 2 points into high speed downforce. We're going to see if Cyril here has a point as well. Put that into the underfloor. And we also need to make the decision here. Do we want to switch out Cyril Clement with someone else? Basically, this guy, I really want to rename him to just Cyril Cronin, and to say it's his twin brother. Kind of funny that when we started this save, I didn't actually realize that dude was, you know, the twin. Race engineers both have points. Pit crew management, of course, is where we're going to put that. Just the best stat for engineers, really. And the key staff here, let's see, technical chiefs by overall rating. Kadil, Resta, Harmon, Vaca. I think we're just gonna stick with Cyril, honestly. If we do the lowest to highest challenge, we'll probably get a new one. But for now, Cyril here will be doing just fine. And of course, we don't want to switch out anyone else. We already have the best aerodynamics head. So for staff, I think we're just going to keep everyone we have. There's no real need to make any changes there. Next up is Singapore. Let's get our performance targets set up. Qualifying position. Both drivers in the top 3, maybe? Top 2? Let's gamble. And qualifying position. Both drivers, 1, 2. Both drivers in Q3. Shouldn't be an issue. We're going to have to try and go fastest lap here. So we're probably going to have one of our drivers start on the hards. But we'll probably have both of them do that in that case. Simply because the DRS train is just so nice to have. With that though, let's head to Singapore. End of the Singapore Grand Prix. We once again had a Singapore Grand Prix, but only one safety car. Lap 59. Race ended under safety car, as you can see. And Vettel here had just a bad weekend altogether. Qualified 6th. Got pushed up to 5th due to penalties from other drivers. And he made up 2 places to 3rd. The race itself. Still pretty good though, let's be honest. He's on the podium. Alonso won. Had it under control from turn 1 the entire race. Never lost his lead really. So really good from him. Leclerc 2nd. Sainz safe for Ferrari. Red Bulls 4th and 7th. Mercedes 6th and 8th. And then we have the Alphas finishing out the points here. Driver Championship, we have no real changes as you can see. In the Constructors, Ferrari is gaining on Red Bull. Just 10 points behind now, so during the last 5 races here, it's going to be a bit more interesting, I guess. Not a huge amount of, growth gained here, but then again, not really something they can get. We are losing money though, because I wanted them to qualify 1-2. Didn't happen, but they've still made 4.8 million. Now, I want to have a look at Vettel here. He actually has pretty high reactions. I was wondering if reactions had an effect on, the fact that Singapore has many harsh corners. So I guess cornering and braking did really do a number on him here, especially compared to Alonso. So just with that in mind, cornering and braking might just be a bit more important than reaction. But again, we'll test that on the McLaren save some other time. We did put a point though into reactions for Vettel. For good old Hauge here, again, we're just going to try and get everything to about 85, I think. And we'll have to see. If I get the test done earlier, we might change it up. But for now, 85 average in these 5 stats, the pace stats and accuracy and control, is what we will be aiming at. Also, while I'm here, we might as well have a look at the young drivers. Currently, I believe we have no really new ones, so to speak. So we'll have to see after this season if we end up with potentially someone we can hire for the future. It's going to be interesting. First race overview. Nothing of news there. All is happy. Would hope they be. And we have the research completed now for the front wing. We do have money here now that we could potentially start the new the upgrade, of course, of the I think it was the wind tunnel. But I want to get the new front wing going first, just so that we know that we have enough money. Front wing is almost fixed in terms of, winning out against the regulations. Brake cooling, we could invest a little bit more in brake cooling too. Airflow sensitivity. I think we might just invest in everything here, because as you can see, this would bring this up. We would beat this one by a fair margin. This one too by a fair margin. Brake cooling is also nice to have, don't get me wrong. So I think we're just going to do one more research project here on the front wing, and then we can focus on something else. And again, as I said, we might try and maximize this car in the future, because I want to see how low of an overall we can win a world championship with. So that could be an interesting thing to try and do. This will be the last research of the season in terms of this set of engineers, and slot for that matter. So since we can actually hit the 31st of December, we are going to do so. Now putting in all 5 would do it like this. But then again, it's 22 days. Can't really put too much research in there. So we're going to do this to get maximize the slot. And as you can see, that brings us below 15 million. So we do not have enough to upgrade the CFD, which is the one that has actually decayed here. And we'd rather upgrade this than refurbish it at this stage. So we're going to have to do one more race, which would be Japanese Grand Prix. Here we are. See what we can have in terms of performance targets. Both drivers Q2, Q3. Again, shouldn't be an issue. Pretty straightforward. Finish position. Because we didn't have the best results last time out, let's have both in top 3. Both on the podium. It should be doable. We'll have to see how it actually goes. But with that, we are ready for our next race. End of the Japanese Grand Prix. We did a 1-2. Fairly good race. This race was a wild one though. I think we had 10 crashes? Maybe not 10, that's an exaggeration. There was a lot of crashes to the point where both Norris and Tsunoda ran out of front wings. They both were running half a front wing for most of the race. Tsunoda, I think, was involved in 3 incidents, gained at least 2 penalties, so pretty nightmare there for both of them. But again, there was just so much happening in the race. Turn 11 just kept on eating everyone's cars, really, so it was a bit of a weird one, especially considering also in Q2, because of rain, we had a Ferrari of Leclerc, and both the Mercedes crashed out, so they even started further back. But Leclerc made his way back up, Hamilton made his way back up, so it was an interesting race, but again, still pretty weird. As you can see here, Hamilton 3rd for Mercedes, Russell 11, Red Bull 4th and 13th. We have 5th and 6th to Ferrari, 7th for Alfa Romeo with Gasly, Alpine's in 8th and 9th, Albon scoring points for AlphaTauri in 10th. Driver Championship, we have Gasly here moving past Bottas, his teammate. And for Constructors here, we have Ferrari catching up to Red Bull, just 4 points between them now, with 4 races to go. We'll have to see how that plays out. But other than that, the only real scrap we have is probably Alpine versus AlphaTauri, and we'll see how this pans out, honestly. It could be interesting, it could not be. In terms of development, we have a fairly good one here. Well, fairly good one. They have decent base to work from, I dare say. 700, 800 base is good. And, well, they don't have high growth potential. We made 5.8 million, an extra 1.6 million here. Well, 1.7 really, from our performance incentives, which is really good. And that'll also allow us to upgrade our CFD facility. That is even better. We also have weather center upgrade. We had suspension research complete as well. Let's have a quick look here on the weather center. It's maximum now. Don't need to worry about that. And I think we are going to upgrade, as I said, the CFD sim. We'll still have 5 million to play with, so we'll get that underway. And the wind tunnel here too, we'll have to upgrade fairly soon, but it should be okay. Suspension research has been completed. Again here, let's see what was focused on. Downforce by looks of things. And we are going to keep on doing this until we, cancel out the negatives of the regulation. So let's just do this as a base to work from. We're going to put everything but the downforce to the maximum. They are the ones that are affected. But as you can see here, high-speed downforce has already been alleviated. We are actually gaining now. We're going to tune that back down. And with this next one, we should be able to get the medium one fixed and getting closer on the low-speed one as well. So this is what we'll be going for. We'll still gain, some, about half a percentage point for most of these, even at minimum, but that's okay. We also have extra engineers now that we can put on our project due to the front wing that we're currently making with one. So what we actually should be doing here now is actually getting... This should allow us to do one more project, but I'm actually a bit unsure. We might just do this and let the underfloor deal with itself, in all honesty. But again, it's a waste of engineers, so... The most we could do is a chassis, though, so I think we'll do this. Again, it's fine. We are wasting a little bit of time, but again, I can live with that. Put one engineer here on the rear wing, and as you can see, some of the engineers are going to have basically vacation. so to speak. Weather center upgrade completed. We have started new research design. And I might sound a bit stressed right now, and it's just because, of course, the race was a bit, it was a bit wacky. That's the best way I can describe it, really. Race preview, Coda, United States Grand Prix. I guess we are ready. Performance targets, qualifying position. Let's put both cars on the podium, maybe. We've had a bit of awkward qualifying lately. Both drivers into Q2. Fastest lap should be doable. And if we manage to have one driver in the top two here, we'll get an extra 2.5 million this race. So it's all good there. Let's head off to Coda. United States Grand Prix has finished. We did another one too. Vettel had a couple of unfortunate moments, a spin and a lockup, leading to him, you know, falling quite a bit behind Alonso. Still got fastest lap though, which is good. Sainz and Leclerc, 3rd and 6th for Ferrari. We have 4th and 5th for Mercedes, Red Bull with 7th and 10th, and then we have Albon for AlphaTauri in 8th, Norris for McLaren in 9th, and as you can guess, this is a pretty bad result for Red Bull. Mercedes will be very happy, Ferrari will probably also be very happy, and in terms of driver championship then, we have no changes, but there's just 30 points between 3rd and 5th, so we'll have to see if the two Ferrari drivers can give Verstappen a fight here for 3rd in the championship. Destructors, we have Ferrari overtaking Red Bull. It's now 12 points favoring Ferrari. And again, we'll have to see if Red Bull can make some moves here towards the end of the season. There are 3 races to go. Decent amount of development. Again, Alonso ended up kind of running alone out in front. Didn't get as much. But again, of course, the growth potential is severely limiting both of them in terms of gaining points. We did finish our guarantees though, so we gained an extra 3.8 million for almost an 8 million gain here, which is really, really good. And we will also start saving a bit of money for the end of season so that we have something to play with next season. Railwing research has been completed. We'll just get a new one started, I think. We also have a new ATR period. So I think we probably are going to put that ATR period into the rear wing. That's just that valuable for us, really. It's the best thing we really can put it into, to be fair. And I think we're going to maximize here the rear wing gain. It's, again, a bit of a weird one because I am considering seeing how low of a, how should I put this? How low on overall we can make a world champion after we're done with, of course, Vettel and Alonso. I think that could be a fun challenge, but we'll see after the season if there's any really good new talents coming up. And as you can see, this will just barely fix a low speed drop, but we'll have some gains for medium, and we'll have some gains here for high speed. So it's looking good, honestly. Drag reduction 2, we'll have a decent amount, so we'll get some boosts here compared to our current build, and I think we can be happy with that. Now, as you can see, it exceeds the research period, but we can put it into the 31st of December, so that is actually perfect. Now, the only other project we'll be switching around here now is suspension, so I'll have to see if we can make something happen there, but it should be okay. As said, up next, we have Mexico. I don't think we have anything in particular we need to do before that. We have the race results from, of course, America. Honestly, went pretty well. Can't really complain. With that, let's just get a move on, really. Board confidence check-in, again. Board should be happy with us. The financial report we aren't too worried about, honestly. Really wish we would just toss you to the financial report. But again, we aren't really too concerned about it. We are actually losing, though, in terms of car performance. As you can see, we are now down to 9th in acceleration, 5th in top speed, and we're actually losing out a bit in terms of cornering. We're losing out in terms of cooling. So the AI is definitely making moves here to actually improve their car. We'll have to see then if the last 3 races is something we can win, but let's be honest here. We have 300 points to go on, even if the opposing teams score the maximum amount of points they can over these next 3 races. We score none, we'll still win the constructors. And honestly, even if the highest one here, which would be Verstappen, scores 26 points every 3 races, he will not even be able to snatch 2nd place from us. So we don't need to do anything with our car. It's good that the AI has made their car better. We'll have to see how it stands at the start of next season. Do we want to upgrade the memorabilia room? I'm thinking we just go straight on to the upgrade in that case. I think morale might be actually an important stat, potentially. But again, it's not something I would put too much of a focus on. Boardroom, toll center, to some degree hospitality area isn't something I would really invest in. And honestly, I think we can hold off on investing into the memorabilia room for now because we have all the personnel we need. We do not need to up our team attractiveness at this current stage. Q3, Q2, both drivers should not be an issue in terms of race goals here. And fastest lap should also be doable, I think. Finish position streak, we have 3 races. We're going to gamble on both of our drivers in the top 4 maybe. Be a little bit passive here due to, as you can see, our car getting actually worse here compared to some of our competitors. So we'll play it a little bit safe there, but still. Now that I've put both of our drivers finishing in top 4, we're probably going to have 3 races here filled with accidents. It wouldn't surprise me. Mexico is over and done with, and as you can see, there's a Ferrari 1-2, Mercedes 3rd and 5th, Red Bull 4th and 6th, Bottas Gasly, Alpha 7 and 8, Albon 9th, and Stroll 10th. And as you can see, we are lacking. Our cars are gone. And the question, the answer to this question is fairly simple. We have had a double DNF. Vettel first on lap 16. Then after the safety car, Alonso did the basically exact same thing, just not as hard. He also took out another car though. He took out Verstappen. And as a result, we had a red flag. But both our cars were out, so it didn't matter. Vettel has basically totaled his car. And Alonso, I think, went a little bit better, but basically Vettel had brand new parts, and we can go and have a look at them in a bit, just how destroyed they are. Driver Championship, we have one change, Bottas moving up. Verstappen, though, is being gained on by both Ferrari drivers, while Perez kind of has been left behind here. 9 and 13 points up to Verstappen. We'll have to see if they can get him during these last 2 races. And the Constructor Championship here now, we have Ferrari 36 points ahead of Red Bull. They basically secured second place here, I think. I don't think Red Bull will be able to catch up to them, unfortunately. Development point here for both of these, kind of disappointing. Not really a big surprise here, all things considered. They crashed out fairly early. Alga got the points he should though, which is good. And once again, we had an immediate crash here on the finish position streak, the fastest lap. Once again, I took the finish position streak and set both drivers in the top 5 for the remaining 3 races, and they both crashed out. So I swear, putting both drivers on your finish position streak is just straight up cursed. The game will kick you in the butt. But then again, I believe these are our first DNFs or really big crashes this season. So yes, we have been lucky so far. Now, car 1 is what we want to have a look at, the powertrain. So gearbox is completely shelved. ERS is also completely destroyed. Engine 2 is badly damaged. And if we have a look here on what we can put in, we have this one. And honestly, this one is good enough for 2 races. That shouldn't be a problem. The ERS, though, I believe is a problem here. It's 56. It should survive 2 races, honestly, before it becomes minorly damaged, which should be good there too. But the gearbox, we're going to have to buy a new one. This one is 45. And we're going to have to use it for practice too, because this one is broken, this one's broken, this one's 2%. So we are going to have to buy a new gearbox here for Vettel. There's just no other choice. And we're also going to have a quick look here on Alonso's car. He didn't suffer as much damage, but his engine is still a bit busted. It was around the 85, 86 before the race, I believe. ERS2, bit busted, more than it should be, but again, it's fine for now. But I think for him too, we are going to have to buy a new gearbox, because as you can see, 46%, 43%. With 2 races to go, they are going to be, you know, dying, so to speak. This one could potentially be used as a race gearbox. But again, I think it wouldn't last more than 1 race before it starts taking minor damage. So it's basically, what do we want to do? Do we want to save the money, or do we want to have fun and actually try and fight for wins during the last 2 races here? Paying $1 million for that is maybe a bit too much. Honestly, we could have run a damaged gearbox Vettel too. But I feel like it's worth it to have some fun. We're gonna buy a new gearbox for him as well. And unfortunately, that's just how things be. In terms of chassis, we might need to just make a couple new ones here. Gonna make 2 more chassis. Gonna take a while for them to be done though. We'll have one for Sao Paulo, and maybe the other one for the final Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi. Front wings, I think we should be good. Rear wings, we have 1 spare, and if the rear wing's damaged anyways, you're out, so it doesn't really matter. Side pods, kind of follow the same one. We also have other side pods, although they are worse. Underfloor is good. Suspension, let's order 2 more of these. And I think that should be enough for the end of the season. Difficult race, yeah. We're disappointed that the team performed below expectation. Well, that would be because we had both our cars basically totaled. In the words of Steiner, he would probably fire both of them just for that performance, honestly. But again, I feel like they need to take into consideration the events of the race. I don't feel the board should... I understand the board can be disappointed that both cars crashed. But if both of the cars crash out, I feel like, unless it's something that happens very, very often, because of the way you are running your drivers, or, you know, running your car, then I don't feel like the board shouldn't really take that into consideration, because it's kind of outside of your control. Like, if I gave a bad strategy, I can understand the board would be disappointed in me and the team. But if we crash out, which is something that can happen to anyone, again, some drivers are better than others to avoid crashing out, don't get me wrong. But when the first race of the season where we crash out, both cars do, I feel like the board should be a bit more lenient. Might just be me and my weird preferences, but that's how I feel about it. We have suspension finished here, and I believe suspension is what we will be working on still. In terms of research, we have no regulation changes for the chassis or side pods, so suspension it is. And we still are going to be losing some here right now. And we'll probably be able to make 2 more suspensions before the end of the season. We do it like this. Everything but what we want to the bottom. We have already fixed high-speed downforce. We don't need to invest in it. We can put that to the bottom as well. Medium speed, we have fixed that one as well. So we could put it to the bottom. And with that, we are getting closer now to actually getting low speed fixed too. So we're going to put everything but low speed to the bottom. We're still going to get a bit of a benefit here, because we're on around 50% expertise all around. So it's still 0.5, 0.75% gained across the board, but we're going to be gaining a bit more in low speed here, about 5.5%. So that should be good. Put engineers on it. We're just going to put 6. It'll give us the opportunity to do 1 more project before the end of the season. And that should definitely be enough to cancel out the negative effects for suspension. And that means I believe that we've beaten the regulations in terms of retaining our current gains, so to speak. Team Hub has been upgraded. Side pods in low stock, we know. I still think it's okay though. We could start probably making another side pod, another rear wing. But we'll see how we stand at the end of next race. Team Hub upgrade has been completed. It's now max level, so we don't need to be concerned about that. The big question now is, do I want to start working on the wind tunnel too? Oh, it's actually more expensive. This one isn't 15 million, it's 17. I guess we are not starting on the wind tunnel then. We're gonna wait a little bit. Factory again, I'm fine with just letting this one, waiting with it. Any other facilities we need before the start of next season? Scouting is good. Operations, I think we're good there too, honestly. And I guess we'll have to start looking for drivers starting next season. Right now, there's still too many young ones. Again, Behrman here would be a very good choice, don't get me wrong. So we'll have to see what we do with the current situation here. Gearbox engine and ERS. Yeah, we're gonna fix that next race, don't you worry. I know. Thank you very much for letting me know, though. I understand your concerns. They are valid. We have manufactured new suspensions, which is good. I'll set up a goal here for Sao Paulo. And just because I feel like tempting fate, let's do it like this. Boat drivers, top 5, 2 races. Let's tempt fate again. And if it actually happens, then I'm never again putting boat drivers in in a 1-2 position. It's just too risky. Or rather, karma will not allow it. Faith, I don't know how to put it. The gods that be, the gods of chance, do not appreciate it. Let's go to Sao Paulo. The Brazilian Grand Prix has reached its conclusion. We finished 3rd and 5th. We are lacking a little bit now in terms of pace, but I think we could have actually won this if I had slowed down the game a bit earlier and played a bit better with Alonso. But that is on me. As you can see, we're just one a little bit over a tenth behind, as Verstappen actually got signs with DRS on the final straight there, so it's just 2,000s between them. Vettel, I messed up his strategy. I thought he had 2 sets of mediums. He did not. He had 2 sets of hards, so he went medium, hard, hard. That kind of hurt him a lot, but he still got a good result at getting 5th. And again, we could have done better here if I just slowed down the game a bit earlier, so that's on me. Kind of pushing through it a little bit too quick, fortunately. First and 60th for Red Bull. Perez actually had a crash on his final lap, but he was 6th when he crashed. He was 6th over the line, so it didn't have any effect on the race itself. Ferrari gaining 2nd and 4th is good for them. Now, here's the thing that I'm a bit confused about. We actually had new gearboxes, but we didn't take any penalties. So, I'm gonna have to look into that, because that's weird. The extra gearbox should have resulted in a penalty for both cars, and I'm a bit confused why it didn't. Yeah, Gasly here, 7th, and Bottas 10th for Alpha, and 8th and 9th for the Mercedes. Driver Championship now, we have Sainz moving past Leclerc, 2 points between them, and now Verstappen has a 20-point lead in 3rd, meaning that he should probably have secured 3rd here, unless, you know, Sainz wins the next race. Same for Leclerc, and Gasly here moves past Bottas. Constructors, we have no changes, and again, Red Bull to catch up to Ferrari, they're probably going to need a double DNF. As you can see, Alonso actually had a huge amount of race points there, race experience. So if he had a 1.7, 1.8 modifier, he would be well above 2,000 points. You can see he had 42 successful defends, 22 overtakes, 32 failed overtakes, and 20 failed defends. In comparison, as you see, Vettel didn't have as good luck, but that was also due to the medium hard strategy, so that's on me. In terms of balance here, we still made a decent amount of money, 1.2 million extra, a total of 5.3. Chassis is manufacturing, we have Abu Dhabi left. Then we will be done with the season. We are exceeding expectations, even with the 3rd and the 5th. So I guess we are still fairly good in the eyes of the team. Chassis are manufactured now. I don't think we're going to break the parts that we have left for the race. If they do, we're going to have to emergency manufacture, but again, I think that's fair. I'm going to gamble both drivers to Q2. Both drivers in the top 5 qualifying. We've had a bit of a weird one lately, where, again, our car is falling behind the others because we focus so much on research this season. And both drivers top 5. Let's play it a bit safe. And this will be the final race of the season, so we should be good. Let's head to the season. Let us head to the season final, and let me try to not bite off my tongue while saying so. The season finale has just finished. Alonso won, as you can see. Vettel is 7th. The reason why Vettel is 7th is twofold. He crashed in Q3, meaning that he started the 10th, moved up to 7th due to penalties taken by other drivers. But he basically totaled his car, which meant that he ran the race with minor damage to an engine, and halfway through the race ended up with minor damage to ERS. Not due to accident, but just due to, you know, degradation. So he was not running a good car. He was running a pretty bad car, in all honesty. Still had a decent result though, let's be honest. 7th isn't bad when you have 2 minor damage components. And as you can see here, the Ferraris ended up 2 and 3. Perez 4th for Red Bull. Verstappen actually crashed out, caused a safety car, which allowed us to switch on to another set of softs for Alonso. Vettel sadly didn't have room to switch to pit and gain out in a decent position, and he didn't actually have any new softs either, so didn't really matter for him. Unfortunate with that safety car. Hamilton 5th for Mercedes, Gasly and Bottas 6 and 8 for Alpha, Ocon 9 for Alpine, Show 10 for AlphaTauri. Those were the standings. With that, we have no real changes to driver championship. We are still 1-2. Verstappen 3rd, Sainz and Leclerc 4th and 5th, Perez 6th, Mercedes 7 and 8, Gasly 9th, and Bottas 10th. So yeah, no real changes. Schumacher goes past Tsunoda though on finish positions, and we have Latifi at the back of the grid. Constructors, no real changes there either. Ferrari just showed their strength during the second half of the season. Nothing really Red Bull could do about that, unfortunately. They also had some bad luck with DNFs and accidents. As with that single point does beat out Williams though. And other than that, again, we don't really have any real changes. Could have had a good battle here between Ferrari and Red Bull, but just a bit too many DNFs, unfortunately. Decent amount of development for both the drivers here. 1,000 points for the race alone for both of them is actually really, really good. And as you can see, Vettel had 47 failed overtakes. That's a bit unlucky, really. We did lose that money though to finish position, qualifying position, and finish position streak. Again, basically just due to the crash. So it's on me. I gamble too much with performance incentives, and I swear, if you put both drivers into one, they're just gonna, well, both drivers into the more than one race one. The game just doesn't like that. They will screw you over, to put it mildly. Now, 4.7 million is still a decent amount of money gained. Don't get me wrong. So we can live with the result here. We actually have a point here for Alonso, which we'll put into cornering, I guess. Development points also for Hauger. We're gonna get him up to 85, I think is a good average. So we're just gonna focus one stat at a time. A helipad is in pole condition. Perfect timing though. He got it at the race basically. Well, we got it 2 days ago, so during practice. But I don't know if the effect actually worked for the race though. It probably did. Alonso, thank you. I just want to thank you personally for your help taking me to drive a championship win. Great season, amazing way to end it. He'll be celebrating. Fernando. Yeah, a good season. Fernando world champion. Kind of what we expected, honestly. Hauger development, we already dealt with that. Car development locked. We don't really care. Can't really do anything about that anyways. Cyril Clement, congratulations on the Constructor Championship. Leadership definitely gave us an edge. Yeah, it was a good season, let's be honest. Alonso wins Driver Championship. Very good. 23 results. Alonso, Vettel, Verstappen. We'll have to see if there's any change in terms of driver market here. Congratulations, board watched the race. They're very happy. After the board, I want to extend a very EK congratulations for winning both championships. Confidence has been well placed. Not happier or prouder about the success. So yeah, a good season, honestly. I don't think we're going to spend this money. We probably could, and we'd probably be safe doing so. But the biggest reason why the board will hate you is actually you going into debt. And I don't feel we are forced to spend that money. Let's have a quick look here at the facilities. If we were to upgrade the wind tunnel, how much would it cost? It would cost us 17 million. We'd have it done in how many days? 98 days. It'll take 3 months. We'll have it in February. Well, end of February, early March. I think we'll upgrade this because now that I think about it in terms of the finances here, monthly balance, we still get 1.2 million a month. Just an overhead, if you will. And that will be still happening even if we, we have November and December. So we have about 10 million to play with. That should be enough, honestly. Staff changes, position secured until everything. I think we have all of these guys in lock and key. So we're good. We are. And as you can see, we have 3 years left on Vettel's contract. We have 2 years left on Alonso's. 4 years left on Hauger. So again, we have plenty of time here to find a, good up-and-coming driver that we can, turn into a world champion. Suspension has been finished, but again, we might have to see what we do if we continue the old guard theme, or if we have the old guard mentor versus the new young up-and-comer. We might change the format a little bit in the future. I'm a bit unsure. Now, we still have a little bit here we're lacking in terms of the suspension. So let's just do this as a start. Everything but the, you know, regulation changes to the maximum. The high-speed one we already fixed. We can tune that down. The medium one, same. And with this, we should be able to, you know, fix the low speed as well. Isn't that much of a worry up for us, though, to be fair. And we're going to get 0.6, 0.7% in, well, gain in the other here too. So it's okay. It's still small gains. And we can actually get it to 31st of December perfectly. So that works out in our favor. There we go. Final research of the year. And we now have our performance review. Driver Championship has been won. Congratulations, your leadership has helped Fernando Alonso earn the championship win. And I believe we will get Constructors too. You've led your team to championship victory. Very, very nice. Our target position this season was 6th. We have definitely beat that. We beat also our long-term objective. The only race we didn't score points in was the double DNF one. And as you can see, performance first. I didn't really gain any team rating here though, so that's a bit weird. Might have to have a look next season. And once again, we've been given 1.5 million extra out of the generosity of our board's pockets. So it's a fun one for sure when you think about it. I really hope there's no like degradation of facilities here, because that's gonna suck. Underfloor research has been completed. Pit crew performance, they're going to be losing out a bit on their stats here, as you can see, 65, 61, 52, 66. We might have to do some changes here to what we're currently focusing on. It's currently balanced. Let's just focus front and rear jacks for now. It's basically the most average one. Large reduction in all pit stop times, so we're going to go with that one for now. I should probably have done that earlier, that's on me. We also actually have points here for our race engineers that we can put into pit crew management. In level up, and we actually have 2 points there for Cyril, going to go into underfloor, just the most valuable car part, and we're just going to maximize high speed downforce, and then we'll do medium, low, drag reduction, things like that. Honestly, since we're lacking in acceleration, we should probably do drag reduction and airflow though, in all honesty, but this is still okay, let's be honest. Bearman, up and coming driver, I agree. Climate development, we already fixed that. Unused scouts and idle engineers. Again, we don't really care. It's perfectly alright to just have them running idle. It's not a lot of money they use. Programming research has been completed. Rearing research has been completed. And suspension research has been completed. Very good. The underfloor here that we gained is still fairly good. Let's be honest. We'll have to see how we stack up next year. Suspension 2. I believe we got all of the... I think we got all the regulation covered. We'll have a look at the start of next season. Hospitality area in poor condition. Again, we don't care too much. It's just slight amount of team attractiveness. We can live without it. And this is basically the end of the season. We do have regulation changes though. And everyone gets the exact same amount of CFD. It's actually very, very beneficial to us. I believe we currently had this one. So we basically just lose 4 hours of wind tunnel time. Well, I don't think we were here. We were probably here. So we still lose a little bit out, but still, this is a huge gain for us. And the minor technical here, I believe we overcame all of it. But we'll have a look at that next season. So let me know what you think. We're probably going to continue with the old guard. It's been interesting. But I'm thinking what we're going to do here to, if we continue this save, is see how hard can we push the car? How low of an overall driver can we win with maybe? But of course, we are going to probably do just at least 1, maybe 2 more seasons where we have Vettel and Alonso as our drivers. So I wouldn't be too worried about that, honestly. And I believe we have some new potential drivers here. Carla Costa, sorry. Larry Groves. And that was wrong key. Manuel Paris, really. But yeah, we'll have a look at these guys later on, see if they get any, drives. But I'm wondering how this is actually going to pay out. None of them have any, previous ones. So again, can only get these guys when they're 20. So we're going to have at least 2 more seasons with Vettel and Alonso. With that said though, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. Feel free to comment any suggestions that you have, any changes to the format, anything like that. If you have any challenges that you think would be fun, I always read the comments, although I might not respond to everything. I read everything, so do feel free again to give me your suggestions, your comments. Am I speaking a bit too quickly? Should I chill out a little bit more? Let me know. I do know that when I get excited, my words per minute do up quite a lot, and I kind of become hard to understand. So I am trying to consciously fix that, but again, feel free to come with your tips and advice. It helps me out a ton. And again, if you like this, if you enjoyed the series, if you like the video, please go ahead and drop a like, push the subscribe button, please. And it helps me out a ton. Thank you very much if you've already done so. Thank you for doing it on this video. And a big thanks to all my members and supporters. You guys are very, very supportive of me, and I'm very grateful. And I hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.